in custody. And ABC's Gio Benitez is in Tampa with all the details. Good morning, Gio.
Good morning to you, George. That couple now facing serious kidnapping charges, locked up in this Tampa jail. Just before dawn, Joshua and Sharyn Hakken were led into the Hillsborough County Jail in handcuffs after the Cuban government handed them over to the FBI.
It's not unusual for people to flee to other countries.
A far cry from the way investigators say they left the country on this boat after allegedly kidnapping the two children they lost custody of, setting sail with them from the Tampa Bay area to Havana, Cuba, 318 miles away.
It has been a long day and a long evening. And,
in a hastily arranged press conference overnight, federal agents said the two boys, 2-year-old Chase and 4-year-old Cole, were safely back in U.S. custody. Their maternal grandparents were granted custody of them just last week.
Right now, we're just looking forward to sitting, getting them in our arms and hugging them and being with them and getting them home where they'll be safe again.
Investigators say the Hakkens kidnapped their sons Wednesday from their grandparents' home. The year-long custody battle for the boys began after their father was arrested on drug possession charges. The grandmother frantically called police.
911, what is your emergency?
My son-in-law just kidnapped my two grandchildren. They're under the state custody. He's not supposed to be near them. He tied me up.
Hours later, surveillance cameras captured the couple preparing the boat called the Salty Paw. This photo allegedly shows them taking off to Havana with the boys on board. But in Havana, Cuban authorities found them. ABC News was there as a Cuban official took the mother off the boat Tuesday afternoon. And amazingly, this all became national news when an American reporter in Cuba spotted that boat, spotted the father, and said to him, "Hey, are you Josh?" And the guy said, "Yeah." Elizabeth?
Oh, boy. All right. Thank you very much, Gio. And for more on this, let's bring in GMA's legal analyst, Dan Abrams. And Dan, the United States does not have an extradition treaty with Cuba. Pretty incredible that this was well resolved between the two governments so quickly.
Remember that none of the alleged kidnappers here have any connections to Cuba, which would have changed this fundamentally. I think a lot of people say, well, there's no treaty. Why would they have cooperated? Well, why not? Meaning in the sense that there's no reason, really, that the Cubans would want them in the country. There's this sense, oh, there are all these Cuban fugitives there. True, there have been some over the years, primarily in the 60s and 70s, but they tended to be much more politicized and have some sort of connection to Cuba in some way, shape, or form.
And it seems around kids, like in the Elian Gonzalez case, the countries on both sides are willing to recognize a child's rights to be returned to their parents. What charges might the parents face in the United States now?
Yeah, Elian Gonzalez would be very different than this case because of the connection to Cuba. And here they're facing serious kidnapping. There's a burglary charge. There's a child endangerment. There's false imprisonment. I mean, this is serious stuff. This is not just minor charges that they're facing as a result of this.
Right. And the kids have been returned to the grandparents. All right, Dan Abrams,
That's right.
thanks
Who
so
have
much.
custody.
Who do have legal custody. Great. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Now to that breakthrough this morning.